सबको सादर नमस्ते जी. Today is Monday, August 11, 2025, and I welcome you back from the conference. I hope you had a nice break. हमारे आज के स्पीकर आचार्य वरुण देव जी, but I don't. There it is. I see it now. So today is Monday, August 11, 2025. नमस्ते आचार्य जी, आपका स्वागत है संध्या सेशन में. आप संध्या से स्टार्ट करिए प्लीज.
धन्यवाद जी. सभी को सादर नमस्ते. आइए हम सभी मिलकर ईश्वर की शरणागत हों, क्योंकि केवल मात्र ईश्वर से ही हमें सर्वोच्च सुखों की प्राप्ति, आनंद की वर्षा, ज्ञान की पूर्णता एवं जीवन में जिस भी वस्तु को हम धर्म पूर्वक प्राप्त करना चाहते हैं, उस वस्तु की प्राप्ति में ईश्वर हमारी सहायता अवश्य ही करते हैं. ईश्वर को ही प्रमुख मुख्य मानकर हम आज का ब्रह्म यज्ञ आरंभ करते हैं. 3 बार लंबा गहरा श्वास लेकर ओम की पवित्र ध्वनि का उच्चारण करते हुए अथ ब्रह्म यज्ञ. ओ ओ ओ ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. ॐ शन्नो देवीरभिष्टय आपो भवन्तु पीतये संयोरभिस्रवन्तु नः. ॐ वाक् वाक्, ॐ प्राणः प्राणः, ॐ चक्षुः चक्षुः, ॐ श्रोत्रं श्रोत्रम्, ॐ नाभिः, ॐ हृदयम्, ॐ कण्ठः, ॐ शिरः, ॐ बाहुभ्यां यशोबलम्, ॐ करतलकरपृष्ठे, ॐ भुः पुनातु शिरसि, ॐ भुवः पुनातु नेत्रयोः, ॐ स्वः पुनातु कण्ठे, ॐ महः पुनातु हृदये, ॐ जनः पुनातु नाभ्याम्, ॐ तपः पुनातु पादयोः, ॐ सत्यं पुनातु पुनः शिरसि, ॐ खं ब्रह्म पुनातु सर्वत्र, ॐ भुः, ॐ भुवः, ॐ स्वः, ॐ महः, ॐ जनः, ॐ तपः, ॐ सत्यम्. ॐ ऋतं च सत्यं चाभिधात् तपसोऽध्यजायत, ततो रात्र्यजायत, ततः समुद्रो अर्णवः. ॐ समुद्रादर्णवादधि संवत्सरो अजायत, अहोरात्राणि विदधद्विश्वस्य मिषतो वशी. ॐ सूर्याचन्द्रमसौ धाता यथा पूर्वमकल्पयत् दिवं च पृथिवीं चान्तरिक्षमथो स्वः। ॐ शन्नो देवीरभिष्टय आपो भवन्तु पीतये संयोरभिस्रवन्तु नः। ॐ प्राचीदिगग्निरधिपतिरसितो रक्षितादित्या ईशवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नम ईशुभ्यो नम एभ्यो अस्तु। योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विष्मस्तं वोजम्भे दद्मः। ॐ दक्षिणादिगिन्द्रोऽधिपतिस्थिरश्चिराजीरक्षिता पितर ईशवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नम ईशुभ्यो नम एभ्यो अस्तु। योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विष्मस्तं वोजम्भे दद्मः। ॐ प्रतीचीदिग्वरुणोऽधिपतिः प्रीदाकुरक्षितान्नमिषवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नम ईशुभ्यो नम एभ्यो अस्तु। योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विष्मस्तं वोजम्भे दद्मः। ॐ उदीचीदिक्सोमोऽधिपतिः स्वजो रक्षिता शनिरिषवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नम ईशुभ्यो नम एभ्यो अस्तु। योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विष्मस्तं वोजम्भे दद्मः। ॐ ध्रुवादिग्विष्णुरधिपतिः कल्माषग्रीवो रक्षिता वीरुधैषवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नम ईशुभ्यो नम एभ्यो अस्तु। योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विष्मस्तं वोजम्भे दद्मः। ॐ ऊर्ध्वादिग्बृहस्पतिरधिपतिः श्वित्रो रक्षिता वर्षमीषवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नम ईशुभ्यो नम एभ्यो अस्तु। योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विष्मस्तं वोजम्भे दद्मः। ॐ उद्वयं तमसस्परिस्वाह पश्यन्त उत्तरम् देवं देवत्रा सूर्यमगन्मज्योतिरुत्तमम्। ॐ उदुत्यं जातवेदसं देवं वहन्ति केतवः दृशे विश्वाय सूर्यम्। ॐ चित्रं देवानामुदगादनीकं चक्षुर्मित्रस्य वरुणस्याग्निः आप्राद्या पृथिवी अन्तरिक्षं सूर्य आत्मा जगतस्तस्थुषश्च स्वाहा। ॐ तच्चक्षुर्देवहितं पुरस्ताच्छुक्रमुच्चरत् पश्येम शरदाः शतं जीवेम शरदाः शतं शृणुयाम शरदाः शतं प्रब्रवाम शरदाः शतमदीनाः स्याम शरदाः शतं भूयश्च शरदाः शतात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। हे ईश्वर दयानिधे भवत्कृपयानेन जपोपासनादिकर्मणा धर्मार्थकाममोक्षाणाम् सद्यः सिद्धिर्भवेन्नः। ॐ नमः शम्भवाय च मयो भवाय च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। In our mantra Swadhyaya series of Aaryabhivinaya Granth, we are on the Dvitiya Prakash, second book. In the first book, there were mantras from Rig Veda, and in the second book, there are mantras from the Yajurveda, and this first mantra of Dvitiya Prakash is from Taittiriya Aranyak. And today we will complete our Swadhyaya of this first mantra, which is indeed very helpful mantra in the sense of when we pray together, student and teacher, guru and shishya, this prayer is indispensable for the progress of both. The student and teacher relation is not only from one side, which means if the shishya is coming to guru to learn something, at the same time guru has also that challenge, that responsibility of becoming utmost sincere while imparting that knowledge, so that the student, the shishya, attain the right perception, the right knowledge. Because if there are we will see in the Vyakhyan in a very concise way that why Maharshi Dayanandji is starting his Vyakhyan from this Udbodhan, Sambodhan to Parameshwar, He Sahan Shileshwar. Why? We should think about it. Why it is starting with Sahan Shileshwar? Ishwar is all powerful, Ishwar is omnipotent, omnipresent, but suddenly astonishingly, till now in those 53 mantras before we learned the Swarup of Paramatma, which is all kinds of attributes, innumerable attributes, and his functionings in this cosmos, we learn. But here in the first mantra of the Dvitiya Prakash, he is starting with Sahansheel Ishwar. This is the quality, one of the divine attribute of Paramatma, that without this quality, this virtue in our life, without this attainment of Sahanshilata in our life, we cannot attain knowledge. This is the prerequisite of attainment of knowledge. That is why Maharshi Dayanandji is doing Sambodhan to the Sahansheel Ishwar, the Lord of patience. If in the beginning of any act of attainment, in the process of attaining the knowledge, if it starts with patience, with dharya, with sahanashilata, because there is so much sahanashilata is necessary, patience between student and teacher. If there is no patience, if one of them lose the patience, then the knowledge cannot be imparted, cannot be attained by a student, and cannot be given by the teacher as well. So that is why he is emphasizing on this attribute, sahanshilata. Without that sahanshilata, patience, happiness is not possible. That is why the first thing is sahanshilata, then there is the initiation into the knowledge. And then if we look, the first half, this part of the mantra, Sahana Vavatu, this is for the protection, the mutual protection between student and teacher, guru and shishya. But this particular Vyakhyan given by Maharshi Dayanandji is emphasizing on the relation between Paramatma and Jivatma. Because Paramatma is Guruon ka Guru, Vishwa Guru, Param Guru. Sa esha purveshamapi Guru kalenan vachedat. That is sutra in Yoga Darshanam. That Paramatma is Guruon ka Guru, Param Guru. So that is why we are starting, Maharshi Dayanandji is starting from him. And that's how we should always do. When we start a class, we recite in all the Gurukuls, this is the tradition, that we start our class, our kaksha, with this mantra. Why? Because it encompasses all the aspects of life which are necessary to attain the knowledge. How beautiful is the mantra? That first is protection, and somebody can say, how can we protect Parmeshwar? Parmeshwar is all powerful, and we are very limited. We are alpajya, jivatmas are alpajya. How can we even say this to the ignorant people or arrogant people? This might be a leverage to kind of elevate their ego. But to the people who are sincere to attain knowledge, they will take it differently. They will take it as that Ishwar is our Paramatma, and to follow his ajya, to follow his command, which is there in the Veda. That is how we protect. Like the son and the relation between son and the father is pious and always nourishing when the son obeys the father. So that is how the son protects the father. he protects his image, he protects it shows the respect, it shows the sincerity, it shows that intensity of relationship between father and the son. So in this sense, we have to establish, Paramatma wants to establish on this earth the rule of truth consciousness, the rule of Ananda, the rule of whatever is welfare for all the creatures in this world. So that is why Raksha. And then comes Sahanau Bhunaktu. Bhunaktu, we know all these Sahanau Bhunaktu. That we Paramananda ka mutual enjoyment of the noble desires. Only the noble desires. Paramananda ka bhoga kare. So first protection, then afterwards it comes the enjoyment of the world and also of the spiritual consciousness. Only then it is complete. Because it is not that we have to be only materialistic in our life. Without the material enjoyments, they are spontaneous. Whatever we will eat what is good for us in taste, in health, in nourishment. But at the same time, if somebody forgets to enjoy that spiritual calmness, that peace, patience, then someone lacks that complete integral bliss. And then sahaviryam karavavahai. Then we increase each other's strength. That is the responsibility of us, of between a guru and shishya, so that tejasvinavadhitamastu, so that there is tej is increased, enhanced, that light of knowledge, our consciousness becomes so sharp and enlightened that we become like a son of knowledge. Mavidvishavahai. And then there is no dvesh bhavana between guru and shishya. That is most important. If shishya is asking questions, the guru should not have any dvesh bhav or any egoistic reactions to the student. So this mantra is complete this in the sense of prayer between guru and shishya. So we had last week finished this part till here. Om Shanti, the meaning of Shanti, 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 Adhyatmik and Adibhautik and Adhidaivik, these three types of suffering, and to get rid of from these three santap which are there in this world. So prayer to get rid of them, to get liberation from them. And today we are going to read this, the final part of the mantra, and then in the next class we will move to the next mantra of Dvitiya Prakash. So I will first read in Hindi and then we will discuss. हे विश्व गुरु, अर्थात विश्व गुरु, मुझको असत, मिथ्या और अनित्य पदार्थ तथा असत काम से छुड़ा के सत्य तथा नित्य पदार्थ और श्रेष्ठ व्यवहार में स्थिर कर. Now we can see the language. The language is now becoming, when our relation with someone is more intimate and close, then our language becomes more and more informal. Then we feel the connection, and then like a mitra, like a bandhu, like a sakha, we can talk to Parameshwar. Hey, so mithya, asat, some people, they have this misconception about Sat and Asat. So how to differentiate between Satya and Asatya. If we read the principles of Arya Samaj, Maharshi Dayanand is again and again pointing out that the definition of dharma, that the one who can distinguish between Satya and Asatya, that is dharma. That intelligence, differentiating and distinguishing intelligence, we need to acquire in order to understand the structure, the process of our inclination towards the mithya jnana. Until we are not capable to see clearly in our practical day-to-day life that what is mithya and what is satya, what is asat and what is sat in my behavior, in my understanding, in my perception of everything in this world, till that time we are far away from the knowledge of Ishwar, Jeev and Prakriti. Because even if we do Swadhyaya, we see that even the realization, the Sakshatkar of Prakriti, the Sukshma Padarth of Prakriti happens in the deep state of Samadhi. Otherwise, we might have all the structure, and that is helpful for the reference, because it is easier to take the reference from our mind, the memory, if someone remembers what is there in the Shastras and then correlate with the life. That, of course, obviously will help. But the true knowledge, what we are saying true knowledge is, which is realization and experience, which comes through that. So that asat and anitya padarth, this whole world is anitya, is mutable, will change, constantly changing. Our life is constantly changing. The body is changing constantly. There are suffering in this world. There is, at one moment, people are happy, at another moment, people are frustrated. Why? Because the whole base of our life is more and more on the anitya padarth. That is the reason. And because of that, people are doing all kinds of asat karya, asat kam. So Maharshi Dayanand is going to the root. It is trying to exterminate the ignorance from the root, not only from outside, it is from within, inside out. That is how, if we want to remove the weed from the ground, we don't cut it from the surface. We have to dig deep in order to take the roots out, then so that we can sow the new seeds, what we need of knowledge. That is the first part. We have to clear our mind, and that needs introspection. Without that, that is not possible. श्रेष्ठ व्यवहार में स्थिर कर, हे जगन मंगलमय, सर्व दुखेभ्यो मोचयित्वा सर्व सुखानि प्रापय. अर्थात सब दुखों से मुझको छुड़ा के सब सुखों को प्राप्त कर. हे प्रजापते, सुप्रजया पशुभिर ब्रह्मवर्चसेन परमेश्वर्येण संयोजय. हे प्रजापते, मुझको अच्छी प्रजा, पुत्र आदि, हस्तश्वगवादि, उत्तम पशु, सर्वोत्कृष्ट विद्या और चक्रवर्ती राज्यादि परमेश्वर्य जो स्थिर परम सुखकारक, उसको शीघ्र प्राप्त करो. हे परम वैद्य, सर्व रोगात् पृथक कृत्य नैरोग्यम देहि. सर्वथा मुझको सब रोगों से छुड़ा के परम नैरोग्य दे। हे महाराजाधिराज, मनसा वाचा कर्मणा अज्ञानेन प्रमादेन वा यद्यत् पापं कृतं मया तत्तत् सर्वं कृपया क्षमस्व। ज्ञानपूर्वक पाप करणानि वर्तयतु माम। मन से, वाणी से और कर्म से, बिकॉज वी हैव दीज थ्री मीन्स ऑफ डूइंग कर्म, परफॉर्मिंग कर्म, मन, वाणी एंड शरीर, our senses. We start, our karma starts taking place at the level of thoughts and ideas, and then they start reflecting themselves into the form of speech, and then the final product is the reflection of those ideas and thoughts into the form of actions. That is the process. So we have to understand the process so that whatever we speak must be thoughtful. It should not, from our mouth, nothing should come out which is not thoughtful and which is not filtered. Filtered in the sense, nothing wrong, false, untruth, or which is not good for others should come out from our mouth. That is why if someone who practice yoga, योगाभ्यासियों के लिए, that is very important to practice the sanyam of Vani. The people who does not have that sanyam, Vani sanyam, then there are so many problems they create. And also at the other point, some people, they think they can say anything, but that is literally making things wrong. So we have that, should have sanyam of Vani, sanyam of on control on our thoughts, not that from any thought is entering or we are indulging ourselves in any kinds of thought streams and then we are flowing away with that, carrying that thought process is carrying us away with them. It's not that it is, they are not carrying it away. We are going away with them. It is man is jad. Man is, soul is controller, but vritti sarupya mitratra. When the soul is identified, perceives that I am the mind, I am the speech, I am the senses, I am the body, then what happens? Then all kinds of wrongdoings start. अज्ञान व प्रमाद से जो पाप किया हो, किम व करने का हो, उस मेरे पाप को क्षमा करो, क्षमा कर। और ज्ञान पूर्वक पाप करने से भी मुझको रोक दे, जिससे मैं शुद्ध होके आपकी सेवा में स्थिर रहूं, स्थिर हूं। So that is a prayer. This kind of prayer only a shishya can do with the guru, that you teach me how to control my mind, how to control my speech, how to control my actions, how can I channelize my all this karmic energy into the right direction, devoid of all the ignorance and procrastinations. And whatever I have done wrong, the prashchit, what is prashchit? Prashchit is not that those, whenever we make mistakes in our life and we want to repent, it does not mean that we will not get the result of that. But when we ask forgiveness, it means we are conscious that we are aware of our mistake and we take this sankalp, this resolution that we will not make that mistake again. Only then it is kshama yogya. Otherwise, if some people have this tendency, when they They will speak something wrong regularly and then they will say sorry. It means that people are not conscious. So we, as the disciple of Parmeshwar, we have to be conscious of our actions. And also ज्ञान पूर्वक पाप करने से भी, so that I don't do anything with knowledge wrong. हे न्यायाधीश, कुकाम, कुलोभ, कुमोह, भय, शोकालस्येष्य, द्विष, प्रमाद, विषय, तृष्णा, अनुष्ठुर्य, भिमान, दुष्ट भावा विद्याभ्यो निवारय एतेभ्यो विरुद्धे विरुद्धेषु विरुद्धेषुत्तमेषु गुणेषु संस्थापय माम। हे ईश्वर, कुकाम, कुलोभ आदि पूर्वोक्त दुष्ट दोषों को स्वकृपा से छुड़ा के श्रेष्ठ काम आदि में यथावत मुझको स्थिर कर। मैं अत्यंत दीन होके यही मांगता हूं। Now we can see here the humility, that state of consciousness when sometimes we feel that we are unable to control on ourselves. It happens many times when we are in this world, in between. Suppose we, the anger, we are in the state of that anger, emotion of anger, which is that fire burning us inside out. Then in that state, our state is like a deen who is helpless. And of course, still we think that, oh, we are something, we can do something. And then many times we make mistakes with knowledge. Because always human being has this tendency to excuse the mistakes. Oh, I said it because that person told me this. So these are excuses. We have to see in ourselves, like Shri Krishna. He is telling to Arjuna in the battlefield that first you have to get rid of this prabhav of Prakriti on you. This effect of Rajogun and Tamogun on your consciousness, so that you can liberate yourself, separate yourself before you act. So the right type of performing action is when we are in control. That is the problem. Why these all the doshas, they reflect in our nature? Because we lose the control on our thoughts, on our emotions. And that is we have to go more deeper into the cause, why it happens. It happens, even if we have to respond, we have to respond wisely. Wisely in the sense from the force of the soul, not with the negative vibrations of rag and dvesh. मैं आप और आपकी आज्ञा से भिन्न भिन्न पदार्थ में कभी प्रीति न करूं। हे प्राणपते, प्राण प्रिय, प्राण पितः, प्राणाधार, प्राण जीवन, स्वराज्य प्रद. How many संबोधन are there? We have this whole, this is for the meditations. When we sit in meditation, it helps when we can invoke Parmeshwar with different names. Pranapate, प्राण प्रिय, प्राण पितः, प्राणाधार, प्राण जीवन, स्वराज्य प्रद. मेरे प्राणपति आदि आप ही हो, मेरे सहायक आपके सिवाय कोई नहीं. हे राजाधिराज, जैसा सत्य न्याय युक्त अखंडित आपका राज्य है, वैसा न्याय राज्य हम लोगों का भी आपकी ओर से स्थिर हो. आपके राज्य के अधिकारी किंकर, अपने कृपा कटाक्ष से हमको शीघ्र ही करो. हे न्याय प्रिय means we become eligible to live in your divine presence. Parmeshwar is everywhere. Isn't it a paradox that we know this fact that Paramatma is everywhere, is omnipresent, it is inside out, tade jati, tannai jati, taddure tadavantike. It is far, near, everywhere. Even though we don't live in the divine presence every time. That is our weakness. That is our whatever we can say insincerity, that we are not able to live in the divine presence. Why? We have to ask this question every day to ourselves. Why, if Paramatma exists, why I am not living in his presence? Why I am not feeling the presence of Paramatma every day? That is how a yogi thinks. And if we want and to become disciples of Paramatma and the soldiers of truth, like the disciple of Maharshi Dayanandji, then we have to try to start living in our inner life. हमको हे न्याय प्रिय, हमको भी न्याय प्रिय यथावत कर, हे धर्माधीश हमको धर्म में स्थिर कर. लॉर्ड ऑफ राइचियसनेस, धर्माधीश, क्या सुंदर संबोधन है. हे करुणामय पिता, जैसे माता और पिता अपने संतानों का पालन करते हैं, वैसे ही आप हमारा पालन करो. If someone can connect oneself with these words, can liberate oneself from this lower triple universe. Thank you everyone. You must have read maybe probably the English part. So we will now do Shanti part, and next week we will start our next mantra. ॐ द्यौः शान्तिरन्तरिक्षं शान्तिः पृथिवी शान्तिरापः शान्तिरोषधयः शान्तिः वनस्पतयः शान्तिर्विश्वे देवाः शान्तिर्ब्रह्म शान्तिः सर्वं शान्तिः शान्तिरेव शान्तिः सामा शान्तिरेधि. ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः.